emphasize that. We hear it a lot in the business, but consistency is the best and the biggest thing that you can bring to this business if you're working particularly online. So I just want to tell you a wee bit. I mean, some of you I may already have had little messages back and forward from. I get lots of messages from different people across the network, and I'll be honest, quite often I don't know whose team they're in unless they tell me, so I just try and accommodate and help. But one of the things I want to make you aware of, obviously some of this you may have already seen, so my apologies if you have, but I just want to make you aware of what it is that causes some of those issues that you have when you're working online. So if you've had a little trip to Facebook jail, and I'm guessing it'll be quite a high proportion of you, because if it's not, then you're not doing enough, because probably 90% of my own team have. But Facebook introduced a stricter rule about promotional posts. Now, what does that mean to us? In simple terms, if a post you are posting is for self-gain, i.e. a recruiting post or a product post, then basically what Facebook are trying to do is monitor people that are using it for business purposes as opposed to social, which is what the platform is designed for. They put some focus on a few things like organic posts. So organic posts are things that people naturally comment. So for example, Zoe put up a picture not so long ago where she went with Jazzy to see one of the, I think it was Disney on Ice, if I'm not mistaken. There's lots of little comments from people, so saying, hotel looks great, or that's a lovely thing to do, blah, blah. That's what they term as an organic post. So it's naturally being social. And that's one of the things that will drive you the greatest success on Facebook. So little top tip for you to start. If you are really, really good at doing the daily posting and doing all your product posts and all your recruiting posts, wherever you're at in the business, but you don't do a lot socially, then you need to change that. And 2018 is going to see that massively change even more. But there's lots of new features that Facebook are doing to help you with that. So things like asking for a recommendation, things like checking into a location, things like that. There's lots of tools that Facebook have introduced. And if you can use some of the Facebook tools, it will always help you have better visibility in terms of your Facebook reach, but also keep you safe in terms of those rules that Facebook want you to work within. So it's kind of a little bit of a balancing act, but we can teach you the numbers to make sure you know the balancing act. So the promotional posts, what do we mean by promotional posts? It's posts that are created purely for the sole purpose of pushing people to buy a product. Now, don't misunderstand me, guys. This is not saying do not post your products. What it's saying is you should be the brand and not Clean Easy or K-Life, because if Clean Easy and K-Life's been branded all over the buy and sell sites, it's corporate gain to the company, and therefore Facebook don't like it. So make sure you're being personal, make sure you're being social, but these are the things that they kind of monitor to make sure that you're not over posting on. Quite often, if you've done over promotional, like a big push, come over, join my group, here's the link, and you've commented the link lots of times in your post, that's over promoting yourself. So Facebook don't like that, and that ultimately leads to restrictions on some of the activity that you can do. Posts that push people to enter promotions and competitions and giveaways. First of all, Facebook want to check that they're genuine. So make sure you're publishing your results as well as your competitions. If you guys are still doing competitions to build your groups, as I know a lot of my team are, make sure that it's not always about what's in it for you. Make sure it's genuinely seen that you're giving away and they're not for profit. One little thing actually that has popped up recently, just in this last week or two. Now, we've been aware of it in the background, but Facebook have got a real focus on it. I don't know if you guys do anything around raffles in your selling groups where you actually take money to pay for the product, and then you draw a number. If you do, please make sure it's really visible that you are not making a profit. So I'll give you an example. One of my own team fell foul of this last week. She decided to sell 40 tickets at £1, and the product was 30, let's say it was £30 plus delivery charge 34. So in theory, she was making £6 profit over and above her retail profit that we get on our products. Facebook instantly sent her to jail for 2 weeks. They don't like things that are making you personal profits. So you can promote your business safely, you can promote giveaways, you can give away chocolate, you can give away mystery prizes, whatever it is you want to do, but please make sure that you're not seen to be taking money from people, because you fall into Facebook gambling rules, and it does obviously get a little bit complicated. The other thing that Facebook pick up on, and I'm sure you all know this, is don't use the same advert all the time. If you're using the same advert all the time, it picks up on the algorithms, and Facebook look for repeat content, and it basically picks up if you're reusing the same advert. Whether it's genuinely that you're promoting something and you just haven't sold it, or whether they think you're spamming, is an argument you'll never win with them, because they don't even review them. So make sure, if you're promoting, let's say you've had a duvet set that you bought in for a customer, an online customer, customers let you down, and as we would normally do, you will go about trying to push to sell it rather than sending it back as returns. So we would normally, push that product. What I'm saying is, if it takes you 3 to 5 days to sell it, don't use the same wording in the groups all the time. Change it around, because you can keep using the picture, just keep changing the wording so that obviously you don't get caught on spamming. So that's a really good tip for making sure that your content doesn't catch you in that. And do you know what? Sometimes it can be just the slightest change. You can change an "and" to a "the," and it doesn't pick it up. So it is as simple as that. I'm not suggesting you recreate all your adverts. What do the changes mean for us? Do you know what? It's always been the same, and I don't know how many of you guys plug into. There's a clean, easy hashtag social selling system Facebook group, and I don't know how many of you have been plugging into that. Not one that I particularly promote, because it's not necessarily aligned with our system. But one of the things I noticed, they were doing a big push on, saying Facebook is going to change your news feed. It's all about algorithms, blah, 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 blah. Guys, let me just take it really simple. Facebook has always been driven by its algorithms, and it's always about what works for friends and family. It's a social platform. Yes, we use it as a business tool, but that's not what it was designed for. So this isn't new. There's a big hoo-ha happening over on this Facebook group, and I'll be honest, I sat and I could have killed myself for wasting an hour of my life reading it, because I thought, well, there's nothing in there that's actually new. Facebook aren't changing anything, but Facebook is designed to be social, to create interaction, and to build communities. Your selling group is a community. Zoe's, for example, I love it, because you can see all who our regular customers are. Go, hiya, can I have one of them on my order? Can I have one of them? Many of you will have duplicated that. And all I'm saying is that's exactly the way you should be building your Facebook group, to create a community. Things in there that are not necessarily just about sales, so social interaction that we always talk about, but little things like, videos, things like recipes. It can be a top tip of something that's happening in the local area. Anything like that, if you can build some of that into your group, then you are creating a community rather than just a selling group. So obviously that will really help you stay safe on Facebook as well. Relevant scores. Do you know what, guys? I would keep this really simple. Facebook look at what you're posting as content, and they're basically looking for how many people are actually interested in it. So if you or any of the team post stuff on Facebook, I would urge you to, as a team, come together and like and comment on each other's. Now, I'm not suggesting you have to do it every time you see one, but do a little couple every day, because what you'll find is, A, it helps your Facebook reach, but it also helps somebody else within Team Empire. So support and encourage each other. That's not only in your own personal posts, but also in things like your team group. I heard Zoe saying at the beginning, obviously, you've got a fantastic Facebook group. It's great to hear that some of you are sharing already in there. I know that it's something that I sort of push hard with my team. It's about them giving as well as obviously benefiting from the back end of it. But the content of anything that gets likes and shares is driven by 3 things with Facebook. It has to be educational, it has to empower people, or it has to entertain them. Funny videos are a great one. We all do loads of them. Educational might be something, top tip that you found out in the community, an easy way to do something. And empowering somebody can be a little bit, motivational, inspirational. It could be things like fitness related. It can be any of that, because all of that is about giving people the ability to go and empower them to take action. So just be a wee bit aware of your content that you're posting, and always kind of look at your group posts as to, I guess, sell the benefits rather than the come and buy from me approach. So I'll give you a couple of examples in a wee second that are coming up on a slide. So some changes that are coming in 2018. Facebook is very much focused on its user experience. Friends and family connections and content is their #1 priority. So what I would say to you is, if you've got regular customers on Facebook, you should be friend connecting with them on your Facebook profile that you use for your selling group. And make sure you connect with them, because again, that gives you, if you like, bonus points with Facebook. Things like sharing your family content. Again, you know, the example I shared with Zoe with Jazzy. Again, you know, that's the kind of content that's going to get you brownie points with Facebook. Now, it won't keep you out of jail completely on its own, but it will massively help the results that you get. Facebook algorithms, do you know what, as I say, I think people get a wee bit hung up about them. If you Google it and start to try and understand them, do you know what, you're wasting your time, if you want my honest opinion, because they change every week. I do a once a week conference call with Facebook, and every week they go, and we're moving the goalposts again. And actually, you know, and I work with them, and I sometimes think, hey, what's the benefit of that? So just don't even go there. Just be aware of your content. Your posts need to engage, and posts that cause a wee bit of debate. If any of you've got posts in your group that says, you know, thinking of decorating the front room, or I'm thinking of buying new furniture, or whatever it may be, what outfit do you prefer, whatever, you know, whatever your thing is, hobbies, sports, whatever, things like that, where you're asking opinion and you're encouraging people to debate, will help your visibility as well on Facebook. Now, what I urge you not to do is to make them political or religious, because that never ends well, regardless of what your view is. Even if you don't have a view, if you put it out there, I'm telling you, you'll have a fight on your hands. And actually, what Facebook do is they pull the plug on you as the, if you like, the instigator of the particular communication. But do find things that engage with people. Even simple things like little polls on your group, your selling group. Ask people what they want to see. You know, what's your favourite colours, and pick a product, you know, product ranges to post that day that their favourite colours. The purple wins, then post everything you've got that's purple that day. Whatever it may be. But what you have to remember is it has to be a bit personal first and business second. So what do I mean by that is, if you are posting, let's say a duvet set, if you say something like, brings a beautiful spring feel to your room, or this would be lovely with XYZ, that will get a much better response than you putting, got 5 of these, limited stock, hurry and buy, because that's a bit gain from you. Whereas what they want is to see what the benefit to the customer is. So remember, make it personal to the end user. Why should they buy from you is what you should be thinking, versus promoting your business. Not saying you can't search me on Facebook under Zoe's Medway Bargains or whatever at the bottom. That's absolutely not an issue, but it shouldn't be the first thing, and it shouldn't be about, I've got a target of 200 quid to do this week, who's going to help me get there? And I have seen somebody post that. And again, with recruiting adverts, if you're already recruiting, and I would say if you're working online, you absolutely should be from day one. Recruiting adverts, again, sell the benefits, not about, I'm looking for 5 good people, because actually I'm looking for 5 good people is about you, not about the benefits to the person that joins your team. So flip that on its head if you can, because it will massively help you with the changes that are coming into 2018. Hopefully I'm making sense to you all. So your daily activity, again, you know, your numbers may slightly vary. So I'm not 100% sure if you work the exact same numbers as we do with Vista Group, but obviously where we do 5 products in your post in your group every day. Some do 5 to 10, depending on how developed their selling group is. Joining the 10 selling groups, obviously posting in buy and sell groups every day, but spreading it across the day, making sure that you're not having lots of spike in your activity. So plan when you're doing your posting. Review post, again, I feel as though I'm kind of preaching to the converted, because actually I know a lot of you already do this, and probably much better than I myself do. So a review post in there from your customers, and keep it bumped at the top. Do you know what? It gets you brownie points just in your selling group, the fact that you're asking for people to give an opinion or debate what they think of something. So again, it's that opening it up for community, if you like, friendly, where people can interact. It doesn't need to be you, it can be your customers interacting, just people in the group. And that does come through really well if you do a lot of live things in your group, because you'll find the same customers. If you do any live demos, you'll find the same customers come in and they all start chatting amongst each other. So again, I know you had a recent, if I'm not mistaken, I think you had Jackie McCormick do a training for you, Zoe, and I know Jackie does a lot live. I watched a Christmas one and she was doing a Secret Santa where her customers were Secret Santa with each other, because they'd all built a little community. So again, that's a great way to sort of keep yourself safe on Facebook. Make sure you've got a recruiting advert in there, as I say, something that's easy to find. I always encourage my team that if I have to scroll more than 10 times and I haven't found the recruiting advert, guess what? It's slipped. They need to push it back up, because it should be easy to find. Even if you're very new to the business and you're only starting on that road, but you've got your sponsor, and obviously upline again with Zoe if you need help and support. But as I said at the very beginning, consistency every day is absolutely key on Facebook. Do you know what? Well, in fact, I'll ask the question. You know, I'm sure many of you did. You know, how many of you were actually there posting on Facebook on Christmas Day? Because I was, albeit it was a little bit, you know, very early and very late after all the festivities. But you know, you've got to be on Facebook all the time. Plan it, and make sure that obviously your consistency is there. But pay attention to your Facebook reach. Now, do you know what, guys? People often message me and say, you know, can I find out what my Facebook reach is? The short answer is, at this moment in time, no, you can't. However, we have moved quite a lot in this last week on the project that's going to allow us to do that. So, Zoe, you'll be pleased to know we are aiming for a 1st of April launch. I was hoping for 1st of February, but it's looking like 1st of April. But that's a way that you'll be able to see, if you like, through a red, amber, green system, where if you're about to fall foul of anything from Facebook, they want to stop the restrictions on people. Because if I told you how many emails we get in on people that have been restricted on a daily basis, you would be horrified. It is a lot. So this new tool is going to allow us to kind of manage that. But you need to be aware that Facebook is about how many people see your content. You need to be active on Facebook for people to see you and for you to see them. If you stop commenting, you know, I think one of the girls on here said, you know, Zoe was my stalker. It's okay, because I stalk Zoe as well, because then I always see her content whenever she posts. So you're allowed to stalk people as long as it's not an unhealthy stalking them. But it will drive your sales and recruiting results. So it's really important that you do keep an eye on your Facebook reach, and very simply do everything that the strategy says and be social. Interactive groups and pages will always be seen more. So interactive is the social selling post, but also things like the two-way conversations, the encouraging the group to, you know, communicate with each other. Anything that you can get 3 or 4 people involved in, whether going back and forward, massively helps your group visibility. The 3 things, as I said at the beginning, to remember: educational, entertaining, and empower people. It's got to be those 3 things. So just take 2 minutes when you're doing your posts. You know, if you prep them the night before, I don't know how you guys do things. If you prep them the night before, or if you're sitting doing them as you go, just stop and think, does this content fit that criteria? Now, I'm not saying it will every time, because there's times where I have to post and I've got, you know, right, I've got 30 seconds that I'll post that product. Sometimes it is as wild and wacky as that, but do try and give consideration to it more often, and make sure that you post 3 times a day. Now, one of the things I just want to clarify, because somebody did message me about this the other day when I mentioned it on the online induction. 3 times a day is your personal profile. That's not posting 20 selling groups 3 times a day or posting 40 selling groups 3 times a day. You personally need to be social 3 times a day. Now, you could say good morning on your timeline. You can post a motivational thing. You can post a picture of the kids all grumpy in the morning because they've had to get up for school, whatever it is. Or you can post Jazzy with a posh handbag. See, I told you I was stalking Zoe. But it is essential. It's not just a nice thing to do, because if you're not doing it and you're not visible on your Facebook timeline, then your reach is dropping really, really quickly. And it can go down. 2 or 3 days of not being active on Facebook can lose you 2 weeks of your Facebook reach. It happens as quickly as that, guys. Again, I don't want to teach you to suck eggs, but again, the obvious places to do it, you know, where should you do it and when? You know, it's your personal timeline. In your group, you can be social, your team Facebook group, in selling groups and community forums. The biggest fall down that I get, somebody sends me a message, goes, Pam, I've no idea, I haven't posted a lot, I've done all the social stuff, I don't understand why I've been restricted. 9 times out of 10, it's because they haven't been social in the selling groups. They've gone in, they haven't built, if you like, credibility for themselves. They've just simply went in and started chucking adverts in. If you don't interact with those groups, your Facebook reach drops to a point where it's so low in that group, it can trigger you a restriction just purely for the fact you haven't done enough. So you have to go in and be active in some of the selling groups. Now, I don't mean all day, every day. I mean, go in and do, you know, 2 or 3 likes just before you post. Like something, comment, oh, this is lovely. Or, you know, and if you go in the selling group, I went in one today, and there was some rather interesting articles for sale. So I decided it was much easier to find a Teams advert and bump that, because I just couldn't bring myself to say, this is nice, because there was too many dodgy things in the group at the time. So again, guys, just, you know, think out of the box. 3 times a day, that's not for business posts, and spread your posting but vary it. Don't fall foul of the habit where you post at 9 a.m, 2 p.m, 7 p.m. every night. Do you know what? The very first time you change from that, you will get a restriction from Facebook, because it's a spike in your activity. So it's important that you mix it up a bit so you've got a bit of freedom. Your personal timeline, you know, the easiest things, because this is a big contributing factor, because I've said you need 3 a day. Share some videos. If you're going to share a video, make sure you comment on it. You know, even if you just put a smiley face, or if you think, you know, tag a friend on it. Again, if you're tagging people, that's considered to be the next level of social. So that's good. So if you suddenly find that actually I've now made a list of all your names and I start tagging you on lots, then you know I know, I'm only kidding. Posts as you naturally do. Photos, family, friends, animals, whatever it is you like, whatever your thing is, share some photos. Check in. Now, don't overuse check-in. You don't need to become the person that actually has, you know, went to the gym this morning, had this for my breakfast, then I've been to do my catalogues, then I had this for my lunch. I've got people on my Facebook that I've unfollowed because they post and tell me what they had for the dinner every night. We don't need to know. Just check in 2 or 3 times a week. If you meet up with a team member for a coffee, or if you maybe go to a play group with the kiddies, or whatever it may be, check in at a couple of things. That will help you, because it's a Facebook tool. And the other one that's a little sneaky one, because you can use it even if you don't need a recommendation. You can put a wee post up saying, you know, looking for a somebody to do alterations on clothing. It could be a cleaner, it could be a good fitness centre, it could be anything. But asking for recommendations, again, once or twice a week on Facebook will massively help you, because they are Facebook tools. Facebook put a lot of money and investment into it, so they kind of give you a wee gold star, if you like, if you use them, because it justifies to their board of directors that it was a worthwhile investment. In your group, do you know what, guys? I don't need to tell you this. I'm going to quickly run through. It's the social stuff, it's the polls, the giveaway. If you're running competitions, interactive posts, we normally recommend 2 to 3 a week. And you'll sometimes put one up and it'll be an absolute flop. Do you know what? Don't leave it there. Take it down. Your credibility is at risk. Take it down. Leave it a day or 2. Pop up something else. You know, I heard Zoe say at the beginning, obviously you've got edited images. I don't know if you guys share social interaction things, and we've certainly got some in our team. It's great, because if you've got a folder of them ready and you're a bit pushed for time, you can go in and pick one. This one on the right hand side here, the chocolate one, is my favourite, because it always gets 300-400 comments whenever we use it in the group. So again, there's lots of different ones that you can get, and Google's a great place to find them. Interactive post on Google. Editing your group name, I know you guys already do that, you know, using symbols, emojis, you know, put in, you know, Pam's online offers, recruiting now, whatever you want to use, but edit your group name, and we recommend that you do that once a week. Don't overuse it. If your group is quite active and you don't really need to draw attention to it, then actually leave it alone, because it becomes, I have had 1 or 2 in my 3 years working online. I've had somebody message me saying, why do you keep doing this? I know your group's called Pam's Online Offers. You don't need to rename it and put some love hearts around it. And I'm like, okay. So again, just be aware. it's user friendly, and if you overuse it, you'll find your users start to either leave the group or they start to report things to Facebook. Team Facebook group, inspiration, ideas, it's that educate, empower and entertain. Do you know what? You can do this amongst yourselves. If you come up with an idea or come across something that's really good, share it with the team. If you're keeping it within Team Empire, it's a safe environment. And do you know what? I know that absolutely Zoe would promote that. It's really important that you can just come out. And do you know what? Even if you think this is a little bit of a crazy idea, my team will tell you our system's built on me having crazy ideas, and they usually go, yeah, Pam, that's not happening. And I go, okay, let's go back to the drawing board. But do share ideas and stuff in your team group, because actually the most successful teams and businesses in the network are the ones that really are a collaboration of everybody. New people often fresh eyes come up with things that I'm just like, wow, why haven't we seen that before? So make sure you're part of that, because you are an important asset to the team. How many times have you been here? Zoe, don't answer. There's not enough digits on your keyboard. How many have you been there? Petra, you can't get in either, because I know you've been there a few times as well. But one of the things is people often say, oh, but I don't understand why it's happened. And everybody assumes it's because of something they've done. More often than not, it's about what you haven't done. And I've also been this little person on the right hand side that the minute you press the button you think, oh, it's asked me for a picture, I'm going to Facebook jail for that one. So just be aware that the social side is really important in terms of keeping yourself safe. Can't promise you it won't happen. I can say, I do the once every 4 weeks questions and answers session, week 2 of the sales period. So if people have got issues, you can come on and obviously I publish a Zoom that you can come on and ask questions if you need some help. But again, it is very much about what your activity is, and socials where a lot of people fall down because they do it quite sporadically. It's like a bank balance. Anybody that's plugged into my trainings will know I say this all the time. You start off with a bank account and let's say you've got 100 credits in it and you post your 25 adverts, you've used 25 of your credits. Guess what your job is? To make sure you fill that 25 back up, because if you don't, you're always going to be tipping the balance and ready to fall over. And right underneath that that little debit bucket is the gate to Facebook jail, and it sends us there quite a lot. So make sure you keep the balance. So some top tips to avoid Facebook jail. Don't post adverts that involve multiple posts of your link. That's an obvious one. Again, I think it's some of you guys are already switched on. Don't share your group link multiple times. That's the biggest no-no on Facebook. Don't bump your adverts at the same time as posting new ones. I'll be honest, I'm not bumping adverts. Rarely do I bump adverts because I find that the activity levels I'm doing, I've got a continuous flow of sales. I've got a continuous flow of recruiting inquiries. I don't find that I want to increase my risks by bumping, but I know a lot of teams do have that as part of their system. It's really important that you don't overpost and join selling groups. I know I'm stating the obvious here, but people get a bit trigger happy when they type in buy and sell and there's like 50 groups come up and they go click, 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 click to join them. And they go, was that 10? Or maybe it was only 8. I'll join a few more. You have to make sure you work the numbers and don't overpost your selling posts either. An absolute no-nos, if somebody inquires about joining the business, do not send them info about the business opportunity without them sending you a message first. Every recruiting response I have ever done since I joined this business, I've always said to people, message me so that I can reply with the info. Now, of course, I still get people that comment on my adverts that go, info, please. And all I'll do is I'll tag anybody that's done that. So I do one comment and I'll say, please PM me so that I can reply, making sure you receive the info. I'll be honest, guys, if they haven't got the common sense to actually follow that, then know somebody I want in my team, because imagine what they're going to be like to coach. Don't open multiple Facebook accounts, particularly when you're in a restriction. One of the biggest things people do is the Facebook account gets restricted, they get frustrated, and they quickly go and open another Facebook account. Just don't do it. It's too high risk. Not only will it disable that account, but you run the risk that they could pull any other accounts that they can tie to your name. And I've seen somebody in our network, thankfully not a team that we particularly work with, but I've seen somebody in our network lose 6 Facebook accounts in one clean sweep, and they will not get another Facebook account. And I'll tell you offline later, Zoe, who it was. And don't post in multiple groups. You know, there's a Facebook tool that you can, when you post a recruiting ad or you post in selling groups, it says click here if you want to post it in other groups that are similar. So I'm not talking marketplace, I'm just talking about multi-group tool that pops up. And you normally go down and you click all the groups you want it in. Don't use it, guys. A, those posts quite often don't ever appear, so you've wasted your activity. And B, the Facebook reach on them actually reduces your overall, but it also means that those posts have very little visibility. So if you put it into a group of, let's say, 10,000 members, you might find 3 or 4 people see it before it just disappears into the black hole of Facebook. So don't use multi-group posting. Marketplace, I don't know whether you guys use, Zoe, do you guys use Marketplace to post? Product posting?
We've only just started putting them into Marketplace like individually, but we don't use Marketplace to post in multiple groups, if you know what I mean.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of the things, I mean, Marketplace definitely still has a place. I personally am recommending to my team that they use the either start discussion or sell something option without using Marketplace, because again, if you use Marketplace, the promotional rules kind of measure what you're posting, and if it's for self-gain, then again it can reduce your Facebook visibility. So I kind of haven't found a problem with Marketplace, but what I've found is it's diluted our results a little bit when we've done a data capture to see, you know, like for like. So just be aware, definitely don't post Marketplace to multiple groups at once. Do them individually if you're going to use it, and just be aware that obviously it might be reducing down who sees your posts if that's the case. The great things you can do to help you on Facebook, the do's to stay out of jail, is when you put your advert, you know, don't always put the link to your group, you know, search my group at Pam's Online Offers, you know, do share the videos with a comment, as I mentioned earlier. Make sure you do all the correct levels of activity every day. So don't some days do 10 and then tomorrow think, oh, well, I should have done 20, so I'll do an extra 10 today. It doesn't work. If you can have 24 hours as a rolling measure by Facebook, if you breach those numbers, then you're just going to find yourself restricted. Do ask prospects to message you, then reply. One of the things that I quite often get asked is, well, what happens if somebody on a selling group messages me? Can I PM them, or can I say to them? You can, because you're only likely to be doing a small volume. But obviously, if you put a recruiting ad out and it's successful, you know, you can have 30, 40 replies to do it in one sweep. So it's important that they message you. But for product posts, there's absolutely no harm in you messaging somebody saying, I'll drop you a PM to arrange, you know, payment, delivery, whatever it is you need to do. If you do have 2 accounts max, that's my recommendation. I know some people, no pointing fingers or naming names, have slightly more than 2 accounts, but what I would say to you is 2 accounts is the maximum you should, by Facebook rules, have. 1 you're allowed to have for personal, for family and friends, and 1 you're allowed to have to share social stuff based on the fact that your work may not allow you to share personal data. So, for example, my Facebook account is locked down, so nobody can see, unless you're friends with me and I've given you access, you can't see any pictures of my family and friends. But I have a Facebook account that actually allows people to see absolutely everything, but needless to say, there's not a lot in there of personal stuff. So you can have up to a maximum of 2. If you've been in Facebook for a long time and you've got more than that, don't panic. Doesn't mean you need to close them all down, but just make sure you're taking advice on what you can do activity levels wise, because the last thing I want is you to message me after tonight and go, Pam, you know there's 4 Facebook accounts I've got, they've all been restricted. So that's not allowed. But Facebook is evolving. And I always say to the team, you've got to learn to dance on a moving carpet. You know, you've got to be willing to adapt. It will change. It will continuously change. You know, you'll need to change your adverts regularly. You need to try different things. But what I would always say is don't be frightened. You know, people come out of a restriction and they'll say, well, I've only posted 5 posts today, Pam, because I'm really frightened to go back there. Do you know what Facebook does is from the point where you come out, it measures for a period of a week to 10 days what your regular activity level is, and that's the benchmark. So if you come out and you know, oh, I don't really want to post too many just in case I go back, That's the standard at the level that Facebook think you're going to post that. So the minute you start building it up, which is what we teach you to do, ultimately you go back into another restriction. So just learn to move on a dancing carpet, plug into some of the trainings that are around, chat to your sponsor, chat to Zoe. We speak regularly if there's anything that's an issue for you that obviously, I can certainly try and guide. But just, you've got to learn to try new things. If one recruiting ad was fantastic, don't get hung up on the same one because you got good results. Make sure you're working with 3 or 4 running at any given time. So tips that I certainly all the girls that are recruiting in my team, if they've got, let's say they're doing 20 recruiting posts, I wouldn't ever encourage them to do 20 adverts the same in one day. I would say to them they should have 4 or 5 adverts and post them 4 or 5 times. So they're only using the same copy, the same content, no more than 5 times. And again, that's kept them pretty safe over quite a long period of time. As they learn to work within the guidelines, and it will absolutely change your business forever. There's lots of new things coming from Facebook. We should have really been launching a lot of it in January, but as with any corporate company, it's a little bit of a political minefield. So there's been some budgets and stuff that's had to be reviewed. So April is the next launch of products, and when we have those launches, I'll get a little video probably a week or 2 before they go live. And obviously, Zoe, I'll touch base with you about sharing that info with you guys as well, so that obviously, when it launches, you kind of don't fall foul of the rules the minute you start playing with it, because that's ultimately what's going to happen for a lot of people. So guys, I'm going to stop my sharing, hand you back to the lovely Zoe, and I guess, if there's anything you want to ask me, any questions you've got, I'm more than happy to try and answer, or if Zoe, if you want to follow it up later on, I've got no problem with that either, my dear.
Thank you. Look at all these notes I've got. Oh my goodness. Thank you. I've got tons of questions, but I'll just see if anybody else wants to ask anything before.
You've always got tons of questions.
I have. I must drive you insane. I have been on one of your question and answer things. You get so many people on there, don't you?
I do, and one of the things I'm trying to do, Zoe, is a lot of the basic stuff that they come on and ask is is stuff that we cover in the induction. So I always say to them, if you're plugging into my once every 4 weeks induction, a lot of the basic stuff they're coming to ask, either sponsors maybe aren't given the right training down, or they're not plugging into the induction, so they're asking what I call very basic stuff. The idea of the Q&A is to kind of help the people that have kind of got established and they're running into Facebook restrictions and stuff like that, so they can help overcome some of them.
Yeah. So why do you, like the other week when I got that ban while I was asleep, what could that have been? Somebody reporting my posts? But
yeah, well, I cheekily had a little look, and I will on occasion. So I get access to the Facebook Secure platform a certain number of times for a certain period of time every week. When I went on and had a look, you'd had two posts were reported. But the content that you'd used, the advert had been posted, reported, and then posted and reported again. You might have done other activity in between, but in Facebook's eyes, that profile had only posted the same advert twice repeatedly, and both were reported. But interestingly, I removed the chap from your profile because it was the same guy that reported it, and he was in 2 different parts of the country. So he obviously was what I call a Facebook stalker that has got nothing better to do with his time, to be honest.
Did you say you took him off my profile?
Yeah, well, no, I took him off Facebook. We applied a wee restriction on him. Oopsie. One of my team had problems. Jane and my team had problems with him as well.
Oh, it's the same person.
Yeah, and he got quite aggressive. He seems to have a bit of an issue with MLM companies, direct selling companies. So we just reported him and made him disappear.
Why is he on my... Can you text me his name?
Yeah, can do. And he wasn't on your profile. He was in the selling groups that you were posting in. Yeah, he was in the selling groups that you were posting in.
Oh, because I very rarely post in selling groups now. It's only if I get something that I think is really amazing, I might just do 10, but that's it. So that must have just been really unfortunate.
And I could only see 2 or 3 posts, so it wasn't that you'd over-posted or anything. There was literally just
really do it.
Yeah.
Because my group's so strong now, I just post in my own group.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
I'm seeing in your chat here, Natalie apparently wrote lots of notes as well.
Oh, Natalie, she's one of my customers that joined recently. She's doing amazing, aren't you, Nat? Has anyone want to come on and ask any questions? Karen, Tina, Fleur. I think Lee's had to log off. Was she still there? No. Unless they don't know how. Shall I unmute you all? Unless they don't know how to unmute themselves.
Oh, we've got a new message from somebody.
Oh, Trisha,
I
what?
did have a question, but I've forgotten. So I'll have to come back to you.
Oh, Fleur.
Obviously wasn't important, Trisha.
No, I was just saying it was. I don't like coming on the thing, but it was funny the way that you said that you tracked who it was that had stalked Zoe. Love it.
I want to know if I even know who it is.
I couldn't. You didn't have any mutual friends or anything with him, so he just looked as though, and his profile was a bit aggressive and crazy anyway. So we just.
So one of my questions was about Marketplace. So do you not even recommend posting on there just like once?
Yeah, we don't use Marketplace at all, Zoe. I'll be honest, we pulled away from it because it was reducing. Because and I can't remember if it was Petra herself who's on tonight that tried it, or if it was one of the other girls on my team. But we tried doing 20 posts through Marketplace and then 20 posts through sort of normal posting, either start discussion or sell something. And the difference in the results when we did it over a number of times was massive.
Yeah.
And it doesn't save us any more time. So we just thought, right, we've just got to strip it out, because it's a tool that's meant for, if you're selling some bits and bobs from home, it doesn't really serve the purpose that we want it to for the numbers.
So if you're going through the groups with it, don't put it on Marketplace at all.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. I think you're safer not to.
Yeah, because we had somebody on here the other week, actually Nikki Kaywood, and she was like crazy about Marketplace. But obviously,
yeah, it's funny because I've seen Nikki post a lot on Marketplace, but I think when you look at the stats of how many posts she does versus the sales results she's getting, it kind of tells you that Marketplace is a lot of work for little return.
Right.
But she's looking to just throw loads of what I call mud at the wall, and it obviously works for her. But obviously, if you looked at the actual stats, then we've not seen great results from it.
Okay. Well, obviously, we'll take your word over anybody else's.
Hey, you got to try it for yourself, love. I don't take any responsibility for that.
Caroline. Oh, have you been using Marketplace then? Yeah, definitely go through your groups manually. What else? And don't bump at all. Do you think bumping it's not worth it then?
I mean, the only time I've ever really bumped, and again, I'm being completely open here, the only time I've ever really bumped is if I've run short of time to do posting. So say, for example, I'm out on the road, I'm interviewing, I think, I haven't posted anything in the daytime, I might bump a few to do that. But generally, new products, I don't bump them at all. I haven't seen any benefit from it. And what I see is, again, if you're bumping your own posts, you're taking credit out the bank account. Whereas if one of your team bump a post of yours, then that is beneficial because it puts you back to the top because it's a user that's liked it. Whereas if I go and bump all of my own posts, Facebook sees I'm just self-promoting again.
Okay, so it'll be good then if we all bump each other's.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question about bumping though? If you wanted to bump your own post, because I've started using start discussion instead of the selling option. So I can't find, I mean, Zoe was trying to help me, but I've looked on my phone and trying to do it off my laptop. I can't find out how to track the discussion posts that I've put in.
That's for your recruiting ads, isn't it, Fleur, rather than selling?
Yeah, so one of the easiest way to do that is through your activity log, to be honest, Fleur. It would be to go into your activity log and go down, you can click on the actual post, it'll take you directly to your post. Or if you, I don't know what you guys do, I mean, I personally don't particularly track what groups I post on my recruiting ads in. I start at the bottom of the list and I post however many. But if I go into, for example, my hometown area, I can search my name and do it that way, but that takes me longer, so I tend to do activity log. And I think, Petra, would you do the same? You'd use activity log to bump anything you bump? Yeah, I thought as much.
Yeah, okay. I think, we talked about this actually, didn't we, Zoe? Maybe some of my posts have been removed because sometimes I've gone there and there's nothing there. Is that where the admins have taken your post down?
Yeah, because you will find, you know what, and people often say to me, new people often say, oh, well, I'm not post in that group because it says you're not allowed to post recruiting adverts. If I was to spend time looking at every group I post in or tried to post in, I'd never get any work done. So I just throw them all in there, and probably, I don't know, some of them are getting a bit more twitchy than others about direct selling groups and companies. And you know, there's not a huge amount of them posting at the moment. Because I track some data through Facebook, and actually there's not that many direct selling companies really hitting the selling groups hard. So they're a little bit more lenient now than they have been. But I just chuck, you know, if my quantity I'm about to do is 20, I'll put 20 out, knowing full well that 15 or 16 will get through and a few will get out.
Yeah. I do avoid the pets ones and cars ones if I'm doing recruitment ads.
Yeah. although I have to say, mums and babies groups are great for recruitment ads.
Yeah.
I'm banned from loads of groups. I don't have time to read rules, like you say. Just there's so many groups.
I quite often look on the data, and I, you know, at the start of the week, let's say I was in 3,200, and it can go, you've minus 60, but you've gained 10 because you still joined 10 a day for the 7 days. Yeah, whatever. We're moving forward. It's all good.
Yeah. And also with recruitment adverts, we've got a huge library of adverts.
Yeah, right.
Some of them are just different colours though. Does that still get picked up as a different image?
You're okay with images, so it's more wording that you need to be careful of. So it's, you know, where you put, you know, PM me for more info, things like that.
You right above it, sort of thing.
Yeah, so it's, you know, so things like, you know, because I've seen some of yours where you maybe just put a one-liner, because all your instruction or call to actions in the middle of the picture, isn't it? So you might put, you know, looking for something new for 2018 or whatever. But if you just change those words around a bit, it makes it harder to track that.
Okay, yeah, because what I normally put something like, would this suit you, or are you a mum looking for some extra income or something like that? Yeah,
absolutely.
All right. Okay.
One wee tip I would say is try and keep who you're targeting a little bit broad, because one of the things Facebook do measure. So I did a campaign and it picked it up as spam, but I basically said, are you a stay-at-home mum just like me? And Facebook told me it wasn't for the community standards. So when I went and investigated it and spoke to some of the guys at Facebook, they said, well, you're kind of discriminating because you're saying unless they're a parent, which some people unfortunately can't be in that situation or choose not to be. So unless they're a parent, unless they're female, unless they're like you, they can't join your business. They said, you know, that's discrimination to some degree. And I'm like, okay, I suppose. So I always say, are you a stay-at-home parent like me, or looking for an extra income to fit around your other circumstances?
Okay, that's brilliant. Thank you. I think that's all my questions, apart from some others that I might send you later.
Yeah, no worries. You can just drop me a wee message anyway.
Thank you so much. It's amazing. Has anybody got any more questions before we let Pam escape?
Yeah, did you record it so we can see it again?
Yes, I've missed the first sort of 3 or 4 minutes because I get so carried away. But yeah, I'm just recording right now.
Cool.
I'll put one in the chat.
Oh, Sean, I was using the same text for each recruitment ad. Do you think? Oh, right. So, yeah, Pam, Sean, he opened a new account for recruiting and built it up really slowly, like we always say to do. And his account got disabled too quick.
Right.
I personally think it might be because of his own timeline. It wasn't enough social stuff going on.
Let's just.
Not sure who that was. But could it have been, what he's saying is, could it have been where he wasn't changing the wording on his recruitment post?
Yeah, it would certainly have been a contributing factor, but the other thing might have been the social side. What tends to happen when people have more than one profile is they forget they've got to be social on all their profiles.
Yeah.
So it could well have been a combination of not being enough social and maybe consistently using the same wording on the recruiting post. It would certainly trigger it, yeah.
Okay. Oh, there you go.
Would that account, Zoe, have had a different email address and mobile number attached to the previous, the other one that Shan had?
Sean?
I don't think I had an email attached to it. I think it was just a phone number.
Okay, and it wasn't the same mobile number that was on your other account?
I don't think I've got a mobile on my other account.
Okay.
So,
one thing you can do, Zoe, to secure if these email accounts are so easy to set up, an email address and a different mobile number. So one of the things that I do with the team is anybody that's got a second account is just get yourself a throwaway pay-as-you-go SIM card that you can put in a phone. So when you set up a mobile Facebook account, Facebook takes your security code, you enter the code, and then you never need the phone number again. So you can literally buy, a lot of people providers send them for nothing, but you can buy them in the supermarkets for 99p, and then you've got a different mobile number.
Because I don't think I've got a phone number on my recruiting account. I've had that account for years.
Yeah, you've probably got away with it because you've had it for so long, but as the rules start to change, you might find they clamp down on that, Zoe, and it'll start prompting you to add it.
Okay.
And also, how long do you think I should wait until I make a new account?
I would say you probably need to wait 3 months from when the account was disabled, sadly.
Wow.
Yeah, you can certainly try sooner than that, but what you run the risk is if it thinks you're trying to reopen. I mean, did you appeal, Shan? Did you appeal when the account was disabled?
Yeah.
Okay, so one of the things you could do is pop them a message again to appeal it again, and just say to them, look, yes, you have 2 Facebook accounts, so come clean about it, and say one is my personal Facebook account for family and friends. The other one, I'm required to have social media access for work. However, I'm not allowed to share any personal info. And what we've found is where we've used that, they've allowed us to have the second account reinstated.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
You need to hassle them a wee bit, keep messaging them every day for about a week, and then eventually they get fed up with you. And because what happens is it gets a point scoring system. So if the more messages you send them, the further up the points you go. And then when you become basically a pain in the backside, they respond to you.
So what do I do this on then? Email or is this a site?
When you access when it comes up and says this account's disabled, it will give you the option to click on it. It'll say Visitor Help Centre, and you can click on that, and then normally the top of the help centre there'll be a wee question mark or something that says report something not working,
Right.
and you report it that way.
Okay.
So go into the help centre and just tell them the information. The account was disabled on this date, you've appealed it and had no response. You have got 2 accounts, but they are specifically one for personal use and one for promoting social media for your work environment.
See, I thought you might get in trouble for that.
No, because social media for your work environment could just be...
So if you say it's for work, it'll be all right.
Yeah, because it could be, it's a bit like saying, I'm promoting clean, easy events, posting the conferences, that kind of thing, photographs of all the things I've done. Well, when I worked in corporate, I wasn't allowed to share anything about the company on my Facebook account, company policy, because you could bring the name into disrepute. Maybe it was just me they applied that to, but I don't think so. So I was allowed 2 Facebook accounts for that reason.
Cool. Well, I'm learning here with you, Sean. Cool. Thank you very much for giving us all your time this evening.
No problem at all. My pleasure. And if I can be of help, as I say, I'll put a post up in Vista when I'm doing the Q&As and stuff like that, Zoe. So obviously if there's stuff that people need help with, that's the place to come.
Fabulous. Thank you so much.
We shall love you and leave you to enjoy the rest of your evening, and thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks very much.
Thanks, guys. Take